this is my review of Mob Psycho 100. Oh boy, where to start with this episode? Okay, so this episode is very plot heavy, and I'm not entirely sure I'm going to be able to get everything straight, but I'll try anyway for the sake of this review. So shortly after Mob finds out that his house has been burned down and his family was killed in the fire, Dimple is able to point out that it's entirely possible it might not be his family, and that it might in fact be dummies created using psychic energy. And Mob, after checking the premises, realizes, using a new power he develops, by the way, that Dimple might be right, decides to go after whoever did it and look for his family himself. And sure enough, he eventually discovers a couple of Espers who were planning to go hit his house, but after beating them up, realizes that they never actually went there, and realizes that they really don't have any information. But one of the guys he actually attacks reveals that they contacted the upper echelon and that he might be in trouble. And sure enough, shortly afterwards, Dimple sees a guy carrying an umbrella, even though it's not raining, which Dimple suspects is probably suspicious, and indeed it is. I'll explain why in a couple of minutes. But in any case, shortly after Mob attacks the guys that were planning to attack his house, he's contacted by Koyama and Sakurai, who have come to pick him up and take him to a safe house that they've held up in, to go meet his master, which Mob reluctantly agrees to until he realizes Reagan is there and decides to go there full speed, using his psychic powers to carry the car all the way there. So they eventually arrive and realize that the rest of Claw is actually holed up with them as well, and not so much the rest of Claw, but the rest of the Scars, the people that we know of from Claw. But in any case, everybody we met from the 7th Division arc, they're all here except for Ishiguro, who presumably got his ass kicked and will never see him again. So he probably will never show up in this story ever. But yeah, in any case, he meets up with everybody, and they all fill him in on what happened. How they were all kind of forced into hiding after being beaten senseless by Mob and his friends. And they realize that probably wasn't the most honorable thing to happen to them, and they realized that they kind of needed to just quit Claw then and there. However, because Claw has a kind of a no traitors policy, they had to go into hiding. But being Scars, they were more than able to handle themselves. Meanwhile, Reagan fills in about how they actually wound up meeting under him, pointing out that they kind of flocked to him because after seeing what happens with the press conference the other day. So they kind of realize that he's the kind of guy who can see the bigger picture and act accordingly. And sure enough, Reagan is kind of more than willing to help them out, and also points out that the reason he's managed to survive his place getting attacked was because he was away meeting with a renovations guy when his building was burned down. So he kind of got lucky because he wasn't even in the building when it happened. But in any case, we also find out that Teru also got attacked, but he shows up with a guy slumped over his shoulder minutes later, so we kind of figured that he probably doesn't have to worry too much. But in any case, all the Espers are there. The guys from the Awakening Lab, the Scars from the 7th Division, and Reagan and Teru. Everybody except Mob's family. Mob immediately tries to ask what exactly is going on. He points out that he doesn't know where his family is, and Dimple decides to fill Reagan and everybody else in on what happened to his family. So yeah, Reagan immediately suspects that Dimple sort of lied to him, but also realizes that it's entirely possible his family might have survived, and sure enough decides to go along with the lie Dimple told Mob. And immediately after finding out that his family might be safe, he collapses in exhaustion. Which I would expect. He's been through a lot in the past couple of minutes. I would have suspected he would collapse from exhaustion. But in any case, with that out of the way, Teru, having finally shown up with his captive, decides to interrogate him for information. And sure enough, they've actually assembled a massive army from Claw. So Claw has about 600 people now, it's massive. They have a massive army, and they're able to take down quite a few people now. So yeah, they have quite the massive army as well. And at which point, the leader of Claw, Toichiro Suzuki, I believe that's his first name, definitely his second, but I don't know if I pronounced his first name right at all. But Suzuki has has one of his Ultimate 5, which are revealed to be espers above the level of normal Claw soldiers. He has one of his upper Ultimate 5, one of the members named Totori, who is gifted with being able to manipulate electronics, but doesn't actually know how his powers actually work. But all he knows is that they do. But in any case, he uses Hattori's powers to broadcast a message to every single channel on the planet, telling them that he's declaring war on them, and he looks forward to ruling over them. And sure enough, one of the members of Claw that he recruited, a man named Joseph, is actually a secret agent, and is actually an Esper agent trying to dismantle Claw from the inside out. And sure enough, he gets a couple of other people to go along with his plan, and then confronts Suzuki personally. But he's immediately wiped out by the Ultimate 5 after revealing himself and pointing out that he underestimated him. But sure enough, Toichiro immediately takes out Joseph using his big Ultimate 5. So the Ultimate 5 are revealed to be very powerful. And fun fact, one of them, I forget what his name actually is, but I'll picture him here. One of them actually holds an umbrella. See, I told you it was important. But yeah, in any case, Toichiro is revealed to have an entire army underneath of him, and they're quite powerful. But he also points out that he doesn't really need the entire army, and as long as he has the Ultimate 5, he'll probably be fine. So, yeah, he definitely feels strongly about the Ultimate 5, because they're able to dismantle the rebellion almost immediately, because of how powerful they are. But meanwhile, his son is revealed to have actually saved the Kageyama family, having saved Ritsu and his parents from their house, and then set their house on fire and planted dummies. So they are alive. That makes me feel a little bit better. I knew something like that was going to be a thing. But he points out that he moved his parents into a hotel where they can't be tracked, and also points out that he plans to actually go and challenge his father directly, which is definitely something that he's been building to. In the last season, if you don't remember, he kind of had a bit of a love-hate relationship with his father. He believed his father was wasting his time with this whole world domination crap, and has been trying to put a stop to it for the sake of his own family. So yeah, that's exactly what's going to be playing out in this season. He's going to try and face his father and finally put a stop to his world domination plans once and for all. So yeah, Sho is definitely a very interesting person. And he also points out that the main reason he set fire to their house is to actually give Mob a reason to fight, because he points out Mob isn't really motivated to fight people. He's not really motivated to use his powers on people. So Sho gave him one. He basically he lit his house on fire and made him think that he killed his family. Also, that Mob will actually have a reason to go after Claw. So yeah, Sho is kind of a interesting character. He's kind of all over the place. He's got a lot of interesting motivations for why he does what he does. But yeah, he's a very complex character. That's the long and short of it. But in any case, Ritsu decides to go along with Sho on his plan to actually help stop the world domination thing. But in any case, there is one little wrinkle that needs to be ironed out though, and that's that that Claw needs to actually be taken seriously. So they actually send one of their more powerful Ultimate 5, a man named Shinigami, or however his name's pronounced. All I know is that he's a blind man who can dodge things really quickly. Like I'm not kidding you. In the 5 minutes we see of him, he attacks the Prime Minister's defense team and kidnaps the Prime Minister, all while dodging their bullets. I kid you not. He is that powerful. Despite being blind, he's able to sense where things are, which makes sense given he's an Esper, and is able to dodge them even no matter how fast they're going. So yeah, he's very powerful and is able to dodge them very, very quickly. I believe that's what his name is. But in any case, he does kidnap the Prime Minister and teleports him outside the room after revealing his plans to him, pointing out that he's going to hold him as a hostage so that the Claw will actually be taken seriously as an evil organization. However, Teru shows up and tries and fails to protect the Prime Minister. Shishigami proves to be too much for him and immediately takes him out. So yeah, that's the last we see. Teru passing out as the Prime Minister is spirited away to Claw's headquarters. So yeah, I hope that was clear enough of a review for you guys. But all you need to know is that Toichiro Suzuki is planning to take out the world government and rule over the world using his army of psychics, and he plans to do that by not only assembling an army capable of taking out 600,000 people, which is roughly one person for every 1,000 people. So he's definitely thought this through a lot. But he also doesn't really need to worry himself because he's got the Ultimate 5 on his side, which are shown to be very powerful, as I explained. But they're but yeah, Soichiro Suzuki is a very dangerous Esper. He managed to amass 600 people under him, and all of them are extremely powerful in their own right. So it's clear that the group is going to have quite the difficult journey ahead of them, and they're going to have a bit of a rough time taking out Toichiro. But in any case, yeah, that was my review of Mob Psycho 100. What did you guys think? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below, or over on my Discord server, link in the description. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Twitter in the description below. And also, check out my Patreon in the description below as well if you want to help support the show. It's only a couple bucks a month. It really helps me out, and you guys get access to a bunch of cool perks that are my way saying thanks. So be sure to check those out in the description below as well. But in any case, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!